Hello everyone, this is Fahad Mirza and I welcome you to my channel. In this video, I am going to show you yet another agentic framework which is quite interesting, still evolving, still coming into mature state, but still good enough to show you, to give you a taste of what exactly the future looks like when it comes to agentic software. I have no doubt in my mind that the future of all of this generative AI is agentic. AI systems are evolving from having conversations to getting things done. When we say getting things done, what we mean is that, for example, you don't just have to search how to do stuff, the stuff gets done by AI. That is what, when we say AI has matured, it is the shift from summarizing research papers, for example, to actively searching for and organizing relevant studies in a comprehensive literature review, or the use cases are limitless here. Modern AI agents are now fast becoming capable of perceiving, reasoning, and acting on our behalf, and they are demonstrating remarkable performance in areas such as software engineering, data analysis, scientific research, web navigation, and the list goes on and on and on. If you have been following my channel, you know that I have covered a lot of agentic frameworks. AutoGen is one of them. I started covering AutoGen when it was not even part of Microsoft 9 months ago. I believe I started covering it just few hours after its release, and it is one of the good ones out there when it comes to create AI agents locally with the help of large language models. So if you're interested, just search with AutoGen and you should be able to find heaps of videos around it. The same AutoGen researchers have released this Magentic-One now, which is a generalist multi-agent system for solving complex tasks. As I said, it is still evolving, still coming into the public, so expect some issues here and there, but I'm very grateful to the creators of this tool who were gracious enough to answer my questions, and then they also guided me towards the installation. So really appreciative of that, and they are making it more easier and stable. So stay tuned, we will also be covering it again, but in this video we are going to install it locally and then we will see how it works. Before I do that, let's have a quick look at the architecture of this Magentic-One and see what exactly this is about. And even before that, let me give a huge shout out to our good friends at AgentQL who are sponsoring this video. If you are interested in it, I will drop the link to it in video's description. AgentQL is a query language that turns any web page into a data source. With its Python SDK and live debugging tool, you can scrape and interact with web content. AgentQL works on any page, it is resilient, it is reusable, and it structures the output according to the shape of your query. Coming back to this Magentic-One, now if you look at this diagram, this gives you a fair bit of idea about this. This is a new multi-agent system for solving open-ended web and file-based tasks across a variety of domains. Magentic-One represents a significant step towards developing agents that can complete tasks that people encounter in their work and personal lives. They are also releasing an open source implementation on Microsoft AutoGen, which I just showed you. And this framework, I think it is going to be a big thing soon for developing multi-agent applications. And now let's have a quick look how it works, how to get it installed. So I'm running this Ubuntu 22.04. I will be using OpenAI model because that is the only one which it supports at the moment. Hopefully in the future they are also going to support the open source LLMs and free LLMs, maybe through llama.cpp or llama, who knows. So let's see. Anyway, so but just for the sake of it, I'm showing you my GPU card, which is NVIDIA RTX A6000 with 48 GB of VRAM, courtesy massed compute. Let me create a virtual environment with Conda. I'm just going to call it AI. This is not mandatory, but I would highly recommend that you do that in order to keep everything separate from your local system. Let's wait for it to get activated. Shouldn't take too long. That is done. Now let's git clone the repo of AutoGen. Let's cd into it. It's slightly big one. Okay, so that is done. Next up, let's install the UV, which is a very fast Python package manager. I'm just downloading it and installing it with the shell command. Okay, so it couldn't find that path. Let me give it another path. So I have just installed it in my home directory. So just I gave this home Ubuntu because I'm just testing it out. If you want to use it on regular basis, you just need to um, install it in somewhere else. So okay, so it has installed in a bin directory. I believe it is already in my path, but anyway. So let me add it, and that is done. Now let's sync all the packages with this UV in the repo, and I have run it. It is quite fast, as you can see. That is the beauty of UV. So let's wait for it to finish building and compiling everything, and that is already done. Let's also source the virtual environment here. That is done. We already have it, but let's do it for the sake of it. Doesn't really matter. Let's cd into the uh, packages and then this autogen Magentic-One, and then we need to install all of the prerequisites in the editable or modifiable format. And again, that is going to take a bit of a time, so let's wait. Oh, it was very quick. That is beautiful. Now next up, we need to set up some of the environment variables because we are going to use OpenAI. So I'm just setting up this OpenAI provider here, and then we need to set our OpenAI's API key. Now for that, you would need to go to platform.openai.com, and from there you would need to grab your OpenAI's API key. It is a paid option, so make sure that you obtain that if you are following along. Now let me set up my key here and then clear the screen, and that is all done. Next thing which we need to make sure is that we have Docker installed. If you don't have it, please search my channel. I already have done a very simple to follow video around Docker. As you can see that I have a recent version of Docker installed. Also, as we are using it in virtual environment, so we need to set this permission on the Docker socket file. That is done. Also, we need to have Playwright installed, which is a modern web framework. And so let me see if I have it. First let me clear the screen. So let's try this out. So I'm just going to use this Playwright to install all the dependencies here for the Chrome. So Playwright is already there, so let's wait for it to get installed. Okay, so everything is installed now, so we are set to try this thing out. Now one thing you need to do is to either create a new directory here in this current one for the logs, or you could, if you don't do that, it is going to use this current working directory. Now before I proceed further and actually run this Magentic-One tool, let me open my VS Code and show you the example which I am going to run to better understand what exactly is happening behind the scenes. So I'm opening my VS Code here. And this is the example I'm going to run. And as you can see, there are a lot of other examples around coder, surfer, web surfer, and all that stuff. And this simple example is just displaying you how this Magentic works. So primarily what it does is it initializes these agents after importing all the libraries which we have just installed. It starts the runtime, and then web server initializes with Chrome browser, sends messages to the user proxy, and then stops the runtime when it is idle. There are different modes of it, like human in the loop, which includes user proxy agent, and then you can also exclude it if you like. With the help of it, you can even save the screenshots and you can put your logs in it. So this is primarily what it is doing. So let me run this from my terminal, and then we will see how it works. In order to run it, all you need to do is to run this command, where I am just accessing that example.py with my log directory. So I have started it. It is running at the moment. Let's wait for it to finish. There you go. So I have run it. It is asking me to input something. Maybe I'll just ask it that create a Python program to add two numbers and then run it. Let's see what it does. So user proxy, which is talking to the model on my behalf. There you go. It is verifying the fact, talking among themselves. There you go. we have add two numbers here, and then it is saying that no code block detected. It is just talking it among themselves, and it is asking me this is the one, and the executor is about to execute code, language Python. Yes, let's execute it. And I believe all of this runs in a Docker container, so it doesn't really impact your system. So that is a good thing. They also take care of security, and that is why we were wondering about that. So I'm just going to say again, I think it found some error, I believe so. There you go. So it now this time it was fine. You see that it was able to do that. It is telling me that how long did it take and all that stuff. Now one word of caution, this is using OpenAI's API, which is a paid option. So that is and with these agentic software, this could go really out of the hand quite quickly. So make sure that you're aware of it and keep an eye on your bill. Make sure you set the limits. So you see, this is how you work with this agentic software. Now, if you want to do web searches, of course you would, I think it uses Bing at the backend, and you would need the Bing's API key in your environment so that it could work with that. So I don't have the Bing key, so I'm not going to try the website, but should be fine. I think all you need to do is to set it in the environment. Now, one thing I haven't tested it yet, and let's try it out together. If it fails, it fails. That is the beauty of these demos. Anyway, so I'm going to check out this example file server. That what exactly this is about. So you see the description says this example demonstrate a human user interacting with file server agent to navigate the file system. So maybe I'm just going to ask it to find any file on my system. How is that? Maybe I'll give it a path and see if that file exists on that directory or not. So if I go to my home directory, maybe in my files, I'll say check if fahad.txt exists or not. So let's try that out. Let me go to my terminal. It's already there. So I'm going to say, what was the name of it? I'll just use this one, example underscore file. So I'll just use this one. I remove this spy. Now before I run this, allow me to also introduce you to the sponsors of the VM and GPU for this video, who are Massed Compute. If you're looking to rent a GPU on good prices, I will drop the link to their website in video's description. Plus, I'm also going to give you a coupon code of 50% discount on a range of GPUs, so please do check them out. Okay, so let's go back and run this. So let me move it slightly here in the middle. I'm just going to ask it, verify if the file fahad.txt exists on local path home ubuntu my files. Now one thing I'm a bit curious to know, because this runs in a Docker container, does it have access to my local system or not? It does actually. You see, I asked it to check the file. Not only it has found the file, there you go, it has found the file server but also it has shown me the whole content. So it does have access to your local system. Make sure you are aware of it. And this is what I was talking about, that it also talks to Bing. I don't have Bing's API key. I believe you can get it from here. I'm not sure if it is paid one or not, but you can check it out. So, but you see that file server is also quite good, just like the coding one. So real good stuff. I will drop the link to it in video's description. Play around with it. Let me know what do you think. Really impressed by the project, and I really want to again give a huge shout out to these researchers, Adam, Gagan, Hussein, Victor, Salima, all of them, and then of course all of their contributors. And amazing stuff, guys. Really good stuff. Looking forward to get it. Once it gets more mature, I will try it out. And please also try to make it compatible with the local models, maybe with Olama for the poor folks like us who don't have much API credits. So before we go bankrupt. So, but really, massive, stellar effort there. If you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you're already subscribed, please share it among your network, as it helps a lot. Thank you for all the support, and thank you for watching.